appears we are live. Just gonna check. Let's do some checks. Let's see. Check. Okay, yeah, we're good. So you know how these things will go is basically I'll kind of start streaming and then get into recording for the tutorials. And basically doing it that way. I was trying to kind of prepare as much as I kind of have like a habit of like trying to prepare as much as I can, and to not start, but I just decided to just start. Um, so I guess we can kind of get into it. Oh, we have a couple people in here. Looks like. So I guess we can start recording. So basically, as a recap, we are, in the beginning, we kind of started with the definition of a computer, and we kind of got into a lot of theoretical stuff about programming, and then we got to a point where we're now applying that to real programming. So the way in which we're going to actually be programming in is Java. So as I mentioned, Java is a high-level language. Now, what that means is it doesn't mean it's like more advanced than a language or anything, but going back to the definition of what a high-level language is, it means that it's more readable to humans rather than a computer. So if it's a low-level language, that means it's more readable and understandable and closer to the zeros and ones that computers understand. So it's either closer to the zeros and ones that computers understand, or it's closer to the English text that we understand. So if it's more closer to human text that we understand, the programming language, then it's a high-level language. And if it's more closer to the zeros and ones that computers understand, it's considered a low-level language. And there is a tutorial that goes into downloading and installing the IDE. Now what an IDE is, Integrated Development Environment, basically that is the, kind of the equivalent of, basically a word processor for programming. Is if you're writing an essay, you would use a word processor. If you're making a program, the software you use to program, you're usually going to work within integrated development environment. That's basically a program to write programs. Java itself is, very universally applied. Pretty much any kind of system can use and run and work with Java. Just want to make sure of something. Yeah, I just actually have to make sure of one thing. Does this make me audible? Does this make me audible? Yeah, I think this makes me audible. Hold on. Yeah. Does this make... Yep. Alright, so, sometimes there's neighbors and stuff that, like, that might need to go through or whatever. I just want to make sure that, when that happens, I'm properly muting. So anyway, that was just kind of a test mute. I kind of had to test if I'm able to mute, the audio and everything. So, going back to Java, in general, Java is, they call it cross-platform, where pretty much it'll work on pretty much any kind of computer. Like, a lot of times you'll find that, certain things that will work on a PC won't work on a Mac. Certain things that will work on an Android won't work on, an iPhone. But Java is the exception of that, where it's very cross-platform. All of them can use it. A Mac can use Java, and a PC can use Java. So, yesterday, what we got into was basically kind of programming from the Hello World, and we kind of got into, actually, I have a whole list of all the things we got into. Yeah, we got into the Hello World program. So the Hello World program basically is when you want to kind of learn any programming language, you start by making a program that creates the output Hello World. Then we kind of learned about comments. Now we're not talking about YouTube comments. We're talking about what kind of can be, really understood as programming notes. Where, if it's a single line comment, it's gonna have 2 slashes, and if it's a multi-line comment, it's gonna be /* and whatever is in the middle of it, and then */, and then you can have multi-line comments. Now the purpose of comments is you want to have well-documented code, basically meaning that you're not just trying to make a program just for the user that sees it on the other end. That, let's say you're working with someone and that other programmer wants to see your code, then you can basically kind of give them notes on what your code is trying to do, so they'll be able to understand your code, and that's big. It's a huge deal. And we already went into Java as a programming language. We went into variables. Variables is basically a stored piece of memory that stores data. They can be of any form of data type. They can be an integer, it can be a string, it can be a character, a boolean, and we made basically all kinds of variables. We made a boolean variable, which will basically store true and false. We made integers, which stores basically whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We created a double, which is basically like 3.14, things like that. And, a character, it would be like kind of the way you would type it is char, C-H-A-R, in Java, where it's just the letter. So it's basically like just a letter, A string, what is a string? It's pretty much any kind of text. And pretty much if there's numbers in there, it's fine, but it'll just basically be understood as a piece of information as text. It won't really, like if there are numbers, basically just understand that if it's a string variable, what it'll mean is it won't think of it as the number. Like it won't think of it as an integer or a double, each number. It'll basically think of the entire thing as a text, as a piece of text. And basically we tried to create a very basic calculator, we by using if statements, and things like that. Like what if, we're making a situation where, the operator is a plus, then you want to add the two numbers. What if it's a subtraction? You want to find the difference between the two numbers. What if it's a slash? You want to find the quotient between the two numbers. And if it's a star, it's multiplication, and we set up the if statements to do that. And those kind of done. Now, what we're kind of getting into is called the scanner variable. So what is a scanner variable? Basically, if you notice right here, if you see the very first line, it says import java.util.scanner. What does that mean? So java.util.scanner, basically that's a library. So a library basically it's not like a building full of books. It's basically, in programming terms, it's like a resource you have access to that you can implement in your program. So you basically refer to it, the Java, the scanner variable, so that you can have a basic functionality where, if you don't import it, you won't have it. So we're importing java.util.scanner. We just kind of got started with the scanner variable in the main method. So the main method, that's basically where if you have any kind of program, basically the program will look for the main method, the main class, and that's basically the starting point of the program. So it says scanner input equals new scanner. So basically what that means is, a way to think about it is, we kind of talked about data types, right? Where, you'll have an integer, you'll have a double, you'll have a boolean, you'll have a string. We kind of explain what that is. But this is kind of just a preview into what object-oriented programming is. Is basically, think of scanner as a data type itself. So the scanner is also kind of a data type, and when we create input, like when we create scanner, like I'll put it this way. Let's code a little bit. It's I guess it's kind of frozen here. Okay. I'm hitting tab. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to respond. Okay, so let's say I'm going to create a string. Yeah, I don't know why it's so slow, but call name. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know. Equals new string. This is basically the same thing. This is basically the same thing as, like basically it's like, we're creating another instance of a string. We're creating another instance of, like some kind of data type that's of a text. Like basically, so it's like if you think about it, making the ability to create a piece of text is a functionality in of itself, and that's kind of the same thing as a scanner. So we're gonna kind of learn more about that. But if you notice, it's very similar. Like working with this whole new technology. I'll just say maybe making another string variable. It's very similar, where you start with the name of the data type you want to start with, the name of the variable, and then you assign it. So we'll kind of explain more into that, what object-oriented programming is, but just kind of notice that similarity for now. So what we did here was we started with creating the scanner variable input, and then system.out.println. What does that do? It displays what is your name, right? So then we have string name equals input.nextLine. What does that mean? That means that we're creating a string variable name, and that's going to be set to the next thing that user types in. And then basically the instruction now is to, after that, once the user types it in, and then that information is put into the new string variable name, then it's going to print out and put and display that variable and what's in the variable. So it's basically going to put back out what the user typed in. So let's try it again. All right. Yeah, so we're literally just waiting for it to run. It'll, system's a little slow today. Basically, until this turns green again, then you know that it completed. Alright, so now this is a program that we created. I'm going to say I'm going to use the last name. I'm going to use a name in the chat. So, well, actually no, for now I'm just going to use MVCap. So I'm going to say my name's MVCap. NVCap, that's my name. So then what does it do? It prints out NVCap. Because what happened was it displayed what is your name, right? That's the question for the user. Then I typed that in, and it stored that in the string variable name, and then it printed the string variable name. And that's what it did. So now the goal is we're going to try to go from that point, that understanding, to create a calculator. Exactly that we created yesterday. So, I think we should plan this out a little bit. So basically, what do we want it to do? And this is kind of a good way to plan your program. Is basically we want the goal is we're gonna make it ask the user. I don't know, it's slow. Program asks user is the first number. User inputs first number. Then the program will ask the user what is the second number. Then the user will input the second number. Then the program will ask the user what do you want to do with these numbers? And we'll have options. I'll actually make this a multi-line comment. It'll be A plus B minus C divide, or D multiply. So then the user will provide an answer, either A, B, C, or D. And then the results of the operation being applied for the two numbers will be displayed to the user. So that is what we're trying to do. I'm just gonna try to fix this up a little bit. And then what we actually want to do, and we're gonna learn about while loops and for loops and iteration, is we're gonna make it so that we can repeat the same instruction multiple times, so that after the result has already been displayed, the program is going to ask the user if they want to try again. Then, you know, I guess it'll be maybe Y or N. And then the user will either type Y, then it will restart, or type N, and the program will end. Once the program ends after the user eventually says N, no, thank the user for using your program. So this is basically what you want the program to do. So we're going to try coding that. I'm going to try to comment some of the stuff out in case maybe we could use some of it. Well, actually, no, I won't. So basically, alright, so let's just start with the first question. System.out.println. What is the first number? That's the first part of the code. So Tusk. So we're gonna do double first number. It's gonna equal input dot next. Is there an actually there is no next double. Oh yeah, there is a next double. Next double. Then now we're right here. So now we can actually copy each time we get part of the program accomplished. We can copy the comments and paste it here. Because we've done that. User input first number. We've done that. And now What is the second number? Program asks, what is the second number? So we're moving through this pretty well. And then double second number equals input dot next double, and that should be this part. Let's see, the next part, the program asks user, what do you want to do with these numbers? So, I guess that would be a char variable, right? And actually the spacing is just not organized here. Oh, whoops. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'll just ignore that for now. So, we'll call it operation. And I guess the default will be a plus. Why not? Well, actually, the char operation will just equal input dot next is there one? Let's see. Okay. I guess in terms of letters, we'll just we'll actually just use we'll just use numbers to make a selection. So instead it'll be 1 for plus, and 2 for minus, and 3 for the division, and 4 for the star. So I guess we're right here in that stage. Oh, we actually forgot a part. We actually forgot a part where we asked the user what would be the operation. What do you want to do with these numbers? 1 for plus, 2 for minus, 3 for division, and 4 for multiplication. So right after this, we can put this comment right after it because that's where the appropriate comment goes. Hey, Victor. Yeah, I can kind of see the comments, I just can't really engage too much. Unless there's like a question or something. So now, we have the user providing an answer. The user will provide an answer, either A, B, C, or D. Well, not actually A, B, C, or D. It'll either be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So now, the next part is user will provide an answer, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Then the result of the operation being applied to the two numbers will be displayed to the user. So now that's where the whole program happens. So if where's operation? Operation equals 1, then, oh, I think we actually need a, we need an answer. Or we'll say, maybe we'll initialize it to 0, but then solution will be equal to first number plus second number. And we're going to make an else if. Whoa, what happened? Oh, okay. Operation equals 2. Solution is going to equal this minus, so then that's going to be equal to first number minus second number. Let's make another else if. Oh, whoops. Operation equals 3. What is 3? 3 is for a division. Then solution will be equal to first number. Oh, whoa. First number divided by second number. And the last else if will be operation equals 4 equals first number times second number, because the fourth option is, you know, multiplication here. So after that, dot print line will say the result is, and this is actually a way you can display your answer by using a plus. So now, it's very possible there could be some errors here, but let's see if there are any errors. So now we're compiling the program. Okay, so let's check this out. So this is a program. I'll say the first number is 11, the second number is 12, and I want to add them. So the result is 23. Why? Because 11 plus 12 is 23. So now, and if you'll notice, it's kind of tedious. We'll have to restart the program to then continue to check, for it to work. So let's say I don't want to add them. I want to multiply. So 11, second number is going to be 12, and I want to subtract them. So I'm going to use 2. So 11 minus 12 is minus 1. Let's try it again. $11, $12, and instead of, adding or subtracting, I'm going to use 3 for division. So it's going to divide 11 by 12. It's going to be 11 divided by 12. 3. Let's see what happens. So it's 0.9166. So if you notice by a calculator, you can type in 11 divided by 12, and you do get, at least I get, the same thing. 0.91666. Now, let's try the last one. We're basically going to restart the program again. Alright, just want to make sure my stream's good. Alright, so now this is the last one. 11. 12 is the second number. Gonna include a 4. So that's gonna be for multiplication. So now it's gonna be 11 times 12. 132. Is 11 times 12. Is 11 times 12 132? Yes. So now, this is kind of just like a last part of it, is when we're trying to, check the program, we don't want to just keep restarting it every single time. We don't want to keep restarting it every single time to use different numbers and different stuff and keep checking the program. Because every single time, we have to restart it. So what is the solution to that? It's while loops and for loops. So it's being kind of slow. Hold on. So if you notice, there was part of the program at the end that said the program asked the user if they want to try again, yes or no. So let's go on to that. System.out.println. Just gotta call and what was the exact question? Just make sure it's, do you want to try again? Do you want to try again? Y or N? So then we'll include that as a comment for that one. Then or actually, I think we should we'll do we'll say, for the sake of simplicity, we'll say 1 for Y, 1 for yes, and 2 for no. 1 for yes and 2 for no. So 1 for yes and 2 for no. Program if you want to start again. Then int decision will be equal to input dot next int. So, and the question is, what do we want to do with that decision? So now this is where we're going to learn about while loops. So it's going to not make sense at first, but I'll explain everything. But I'm going to make an if statement here. It's going to require an if statement. Is equal to yes. I'm actually going to create, decision is equal to 1, rather. I'm going to try to create a Boolean is continue. I'm going to set that to false. One, then is continue is going to be equal to true. And else if decision is equal to 2, make is continue equal to false. So now we're gonna make a while loop. Well, actually, we had to make this a lot earlier. Pretty much, maybe here, I believe. Alright, system's kind of slow. Alright. Actually, I think it needs to be true. So while is continue So I think that should do it. I might need to tweak the program a little bit based on the order. Waiting for the program to start. So if we can just get this program to work, and then we're going to go into a lot into while loops, for loops, iteration, and explain how this program worked. And then I don't know if we're going to do that tonight, but I think actually we're going to create a separate day for arrays. And then after that, we're going to get into object-oriented programming, and we're going to try to get into all kinds of things. Yeah, for now, we're just trying to get this thing to load. Yeah, so from my end, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it's like really slow. It's not responding. It's gonna take a while. I'll try to read chat in the meantime. Deadwast's in here. Oh, Deadwast should be a mod. Hold up. Kind of make Deadwast a mod. Yeah, so basically, in the meantime, I'm just waiting on. I'm gonna try to edit this out in the video Premiere, but I'm just waiting on, literally just waiting on the program to respond. It's like grayed out. You can't really see from my angle, but it says just like, it's like grayed out. It says not responding. So until that's settled. Yeah, I don't think you don't have a engineer. Oh yeah, I don't get it. You just said you want your wrench back. I give it back. I preemptively gave your wrench back. Alright. It's finally starting to load. Deadwast can't be trusted. Rogue mod. Yeah, we're just waiting on it. As soon as it as soon as it loads, we're gonna get into it. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. So, it says, what is the first number? 11. Second number is 12. What do I want to do with those numbers? Add them. There's also 23. Do I want to try again? Yes, 1 for yes. Okay, so now we're back again. 15, let's say 30, do you want to try again? 25, 15, and let's say I want to multiply them, so I use 4. And then let's say I say no. Now the program broke. Because, and the program ends. Because until I say, so 2 for no, meaning I don't want to continue the program, you know, so it's like 1 for yes, 2 for no. So now, basically, by typing in a 2, I'm saying that I don't want to continue on the program. But if I wanted to, if decision equals 2, I could, instead of just ending the program, I could say oh, whoops, typo. Hold on, there's another system. Thanks for using my program. So let's start this again. And this will be the final thing. Where pretty much we're gonna wrap up this program and then explain and then we're gonna kind of just try to isolate on the concept of while loops and for loops. And then after that, I think that's going to be about it. So now we're just waiting for the program to start again. So let's say, I'm just typing in kind of all these numbers from this great program. It's 15 plus 12, why not? 27, I don't want to continue. Say 14. 15, I guess I'm going to multiply them. So it's going to be 4. 210. Now I'm kind of tired. I don't want to kind of continue this program. So now I'm going to hit, do I want to try again? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm going to hit a 2. That is going to say, thanks for using my program, and then it ends. So now, I can say, the last comment, I can add the last comment. Yeah, it's just slow. I'm trying to scroll down. It's just solid as a rock. Yeah, I just have to wait for it, I guess. Alright, so the last requirement is once the program ends after the user eventually says N, thank the user for using the program. And now I can say I've done that. So I'm going to copy that comment and add that to that part of the code. And That's it. That's the program. The next thing we're gonna do is that, well, first of all, I'm gonna save it, and then we're gonna kind of go in depth and try to explain this program, and how it works, and the while loops. Still, it's still frozen. Um, okay. File, save all. Okay. So, I'm trying to scroll up, but it's just not, yeah, it's just not working. Okay, so let's just review. Um, so basically, how does this program work? We start by using the scanner variable, import java.util.scanner. We're using the scanner functionality, which basically will kind of give the program the opportunity to hear what the user wants to type in or have them interact with the program, and then have that control how the program will actually work. Then, we're in the main class, and then we make this variable boolean is continue equals true. You know, what this basically means is, like, how while loops work in general is, it's like if you ever have a instruction where as long as this condition is true, keep doing it. So let's say you're a factory worker and you're working on let's say you're building a toy robot. So then you have, let's say they give you the body of the robot, then they give you the head, then they give you the arms, the legs, and your goal, right? The thing you have to do is you have to put the head on the body, then the arms on the body, then the legs on the body, and then you just ship it off to the next factory worker, then they maybe add something else, right? So basically the while loop there in that scenario would be, as long as you're at work, as long as you're on the clock, you have to, the first instruction would be put the head on the body, put the left arm on the body of the robot, the right arm on the body of the robot, the first leg on the left leg on the right on the body of the robot, then the right leg at the body of the robot, and then you do it again, and you just keep doing it again until the condition is true that you're still at work, and that's your job. So this condition is basically saying is continue. So until the user decides to, as long as the user wants to continue using your program, you're going to keep giving them the opportunity to add up the numbers, and then basically just, I guess, figure out what numbers they want to work with, and then what operator they want, and then just use a calculator. So as long as your user wants to use a calculator, is continue is going to be equal to true. So then we have while as long as is continue. So if you notice, so something that's true is, so is continue is a Boolean value, right? We're setting to true. If you notice, I just have is continue right there, right? That's basically the equivalent as long as is continue is equal to true, then do this. Even though I'm not saying like an if statement, like the doubles equals is equal to true, but I could easily do that. In fact, I will do that. Yeah, it's just too slow. But basically it's the equivalent of this. So it's like these things are the same thing. So don't get kind of thrown off by like this kind of being different than an if statement. It's the same thing, where like if you just have is if, as long as it's like if you just have it like this, you're basically saying, asking if it's true or not. So as long as it's true, do this. So then scanner input equals new scanner variable. So now we're creating the scanner variable so we can use it. Then system.out.println, what is the first number? What are we doing there? The program's going to ask the user, what is the first number? So we're going to ask, it'll just be a piece of text. Then the next part, double first number equals input dot next double. What does that do? It uses a scanner variable to find out when the next number that's typed in by the user, whatever that is going to be set to first number. In the next part, system.out.println, what is the second number? The program's going to ask the user, what is the second number? Then system.out.println, what did you, and then it's going to set the second number to whatever they type in. That's going to be system.out.println. What do you want to do with those numbers? There's a missing D there. One for plus, 2 for minus, 3 for division, 4 for the star operation, which means multiplication. The program asks, what do you want to do with these numbers? That's pretty much it. So we select the solution to be 0, which is going to be the answer. Now int operation, after we're asking them, what do you want to do with these numbers? Like the 1 for plus, the 2 for minus, the int for operation is going to be equal to whatever they type in. So the user will provide an answer to either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if that operation is 1, add them. If it's 2, subtract them. If it's 3, divide them. If it's 4, multiply them. And then, the result is whatever they type in, whatever the answer is. System.out.println, do you want to try again? And if they type in 1, then what will happen then is, okay, so well actually what it is like, this is just asking the question. System.out.println, do you want to try again? 1. Decision will be equal to whatever they type in. So we'll say they type in 1. Then, if decision is equal to 1, then is continuous equal to true. This doesn't get executed. And then it'll go all the way back to the beginning and start over again, and it will be a calculator for them to use again. And until they type in 2, if they type in 2, then is continue will be equal to false, and then it'll say thanks for using the program, and then there'll be nothing else to run. And then obviously is continue will be false, and then there'll be no way this will start. So the only way this starts, all this stuff starts, is for is continue to be true. But if the user sets it to be false, then it will never start again. So that's how this program works. I think I think based on just the technical issues we're having, I'm gonna try to make sure next time it runs a little smoother. The next time, this is kind of an introduction to while loops. The next time we're gonna get into while loops way more in depth. We're gonna use while loops, for loops, just in general more of the concept of iteration, and then we're gonna try to get into arrays. So other than that, that's basically where we're going to leave off. And then after that, the next concept is going to be object-oriented